Welcome to another edition of the Budde Telecommunications Files. This time I would like to talk to you about smart television and its threat to the broadcasters. Over the last decade and perhaps a little bit longer, we've been talking about the effect of the internet on the broadcasters, and we've argued many times that the broadcasters have been very slow in moving into the online world. And very similar to the music and the publishing industry, they find it very difficult to find new business models that compensate for the revenue losses that they get when they start moving to an online environment where lots of the services are seen as being free to customers or very low cost, and obviously, you know, finding more advertisers in a splintering market is becoming increasingly more difficult. And particularly the younger generations have moved away from broadcasting. They watch very little television, at least very little traditional television, and that now creeps on to the 20, 30, 40 years old. So you really start seeing changes happening in the market that are inevitable, leading to a decline of broadcasting. And so far, you know, the industry hasn't been able to come up with much more than catch-up television and a few other online services that are seen as attractive to customers. So we see that the broadcasters over the last decade have not really used their opportunity to move into that area. You know, they're not big in the smart media, they're not big in online media. You know, you don't see them developing services such as you see as Facebook and Google and Android, etc. are doing. So they are now well behind the market. But this is actually not the major threat. I think the major threat to the broadcasters is what's coming next, and that is smart television. Very similar to the smartphone, you know, that actually took the mobile operators totally by surprise. They, for a decade, had these mobile portals with all the beautiful content, and cost you an arm and a leg to either get the information or for providers to provide the information. And when Apple arrived with the iPhone, you know, then overnight basically that market was demolished by Apple. And you see that the device in that sort of situation has been the revolution. Smart television will be exactly the same. You know, what you basically will get is apps-based applications on the television, but then of course those apps will all be video-based, and you can just pick and choose and delete and add applications as you like. And obviously you will see literally tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of application providers jumping into that market. You know, you bypass basically the broadcasters, you go directly to the screen or to the TV set, to the smartphone. Samsung is going to develop some of these television sets, and obviously others will follow. Google Android seems to have a little bit of a lead. Apple TV has been around but has not really made that major impact. But towards the middle of 2012, I expect quite some firework in that market. So that means that obviously the broadcasters will still be there, but their role will be further diminished. You know, they're no longer the gateway keepers. At the moment, you know, you sit in front of the telly, you have a limited choice of content, you know, delivered to you by the broadcasters, and anybody outside that group of broadcasters obviously doesn't have access to the television. With smart television, that is going to change. The apps will start ruling that market. It might take a little bit longer than the smartphone. You know, smartphone is conquering the world, you know, in 2, 3, 4 years. You know, smart television might take a little bit longer, but there's no doubt in my mind that the new television sets that are starting to replace the old ones as from this year will mainly be smart televisions, and obviously over the next 5 to 10 years that will have replaced the total television market and will have revolutionized the broadcasting market. Thank you for listening to me, and I'm looking forward to catch up with you on the next occasion. At the end of this clip you will find some further information to this topic, and that's available on our website. Thank you very much.